Hi there. My name's Dave. I love taking motorcycle trips. My current ride is an R1200 GSA. Long wanted to do a trip up to James Bay, and I was lucky enough to have a friend come along, and for the sake of the video, let's call him Bill. This is day one. We're leaving out of Ottawa and heading up to Matagami. A 5-day trip. It's been on my bucket list for quite a while. I don't know why I wanted to go to James Bay. It's just something I wanted to do. So there's a lot of extended just driving clips here, so you can fast forward or you can watch it. It's entirely up to you. I did this for me and my partner Bill. Cheers. Let's watch. So we took Highway 105 north out of Ottawa, headed up to Highway 117. First stop, stretch our legs, was about an hour and a bit in, and stopped at a place called the Savoyard Covered Bridge, built in 1931. It's 102 meters long. Grabbed a couple images of the river there, just stretching our legs. It wasn't so bad, a little overcast, a drizzle here and there. It's pretty much going to be standard for the trip. Lots of rain on this one. And we hopped back on the bikes and continued up towards Highway 117. So we took jerry cans with us because we knew at least on day two we had a good stretch on that James Bay Highway where there's only one gas station in the middle. Little did we know it would be Park La Grande that would give us our biggest scare. We didn't realize how few gas stations there were, or no gas stations through the park, and it's quite a stretch. And we hadn't filled up beforehand, so we were pretty happy to see this place when we came into town. A little town called Lavacourt, I guess. I'm not sure if I got pronunciation right. Filled up with gas, filled up with some food. Hop back on 117, headed up to Highway 113, and then we'd be making a left following a GPS route I'd laid out. Talk more about that in just a sec. So we've made the left-hand turn here onto Highway 1000, which would become Highway 1055. So I learned a new fact here. Highways in Quebec that have 4 digits apparently are gravel road. This was 110 kilometers of mostly freshly graveled road. We spent most of it pretty puckered, standing on the banks, trying to keep the tires underneath us. Took a little stop there to take a break about halfway through, and then we carried on. This added quite a bit of time to our day. Was unexpected. It was funny. We started off going slow, but we ended up picking up pace and managed to get into Matagami. So when we did roll into Matagami, we opted to stay at the Hotel Matagami, just so that we get a good sleep and get ready for the big stretch up to Radisson on the James Bay Highway. Went out for a walk, took some pictures in the evening of some of the local water lakes around, and went to bed. Get ready for day two. So day two, Matagami to Radisson, 620 kilometer stretch, one gas station in the middle. This is the highway I've been looking forward to riding. I've heard lots about it, and it didn't disappoint. Here we are all set up on the side of the road. Got to get a picture with the tents and all the gear on there, and of course mile zero of the James Bay Highway. We were fortunate. The morning was bright and sunny. A little bit of chill in the air, but not so bad. We were all dressed for it, and we were rolling, headed north. We stopped, of course, to get our pictures at the sign, but after the sign, there's actually a location where you have to pull in and sign in on the James Bay Highway. So Bill and I, we had stopped in there and signed in already, but I had forgot to capture it on video, so we're just rolling up to the stop sign here. We'd actually gone back just to get the video clip. And then we continued on up the James Bay Highway, just rolling along. So you think with a highway like this, you could just pretty much roll along and not have to worry too much, but you got to be careful. There's lots of stretches under construction, and when I say construction, I'm talking 80 kilometers of construction. You'll find sections where there's just massive potholes, nothing marking them. So you got to make sure you're alert and watching out, not only for animals. When you do get stopped for construction, you're stopped for elongated periods of time. Here we are stuck on the side of the road waiting for our green flag to go through the construction zone. That gives you a chance to stretch your legs and catch your breath. So you can get a sense how slow you had to go for this construction. So it takes, what is not too bad a day. So it certainly stretches it out. We had stretches like this. I'm telling you, there was 80, 90, 100 kilometers long of just pure on gravel road and construction. Felt good to get back on the asphalt, that's for sure. So we made it up to kilometer 381, the only gas station on the James Bay Highway. If you run high test, make sure you bring additive. They do not have it. They just have good old regular there. Just picture Bill taking a rest, getting ready to finish off the trip on the last stretch of highway north into Radisson. I was mentioning earlier about the condition of the road. You can see a stretch here, there's a big patch missing with a bucket in the middle marking it. And there's some stretches that just have a big hole like this here, no markings at all. So you got to be alert. Make sure you don't run into one of those. That'd do your front wheel in pretty good if it didn't send you into the ditch. We rolled into Radisson, got our bikes parked, got the gear unloaded, and took some time to set up the tents and went for a little walk around a very sparsely populated campground. In fact, I think at one point Bill and I were the only two there. Black flies, yeah, surprised. It was, I believe, August when we did this trip, and they were definitely up there. They were driving us crazy at some point. We seem to have two types of weather, black flies or rain. And I'll talk about rain again for day 3, but boy, did it rain. This is the big day. This is where we head from Radisson out to the shores of James Bay. It's a 240 kilometer round trip, but man, it was not pleasant. We expected to get to La Grande, which is the first of a series of the hydroelectric dams, make a right and follow that road all the way up to the bay, but there was just too much rain. We managed to go straight into Chisasibi. Here I am sort of stretching my legs and trying to dry off. Later I'd find out I had about a half an inch of water that somehow got into one of my panniers. Thankfully my Crocs were on the bottom and kept all my clothes dry. We met a guy here, Roy, who gave us a hand on our reattempt to get to the bay using the road that we were on here. Super nice guy. Told us if we went out, follow the road, and to watch for this particular left-hand turn, which is a dirt road that would actually take us right out to the bay. So this is what I came here for, and I wasn't going to let the weather stop us. We made the call on the road up from La Grande because it was just too dangerous. We were in inches of water, and it was like a rutted track, so we couldn't see what was under it. So we turned around on that. Plus, it was foggy as heck. So this hopefully was going to pan out. In the end, it did. So we got cruising through Chisasibi here, heading back out to the road after getting directions from Roy, and we're going to see if we can't get ourselves out to James Bay. I guess you could say from a weather perspective, we actually got a little lucky here. It actually had stopped raining. This is actually dry. You can see I just missed the left-hand turn that Roy told us to take. I think Bill flagged me down with his lights, told me, hey, what are you doing? So I managed to go just a little ways up the road here. I did a U-turn, headed back, and this is it. We're on hopefully what is the dirt road that will take us straight to the shores of James Bay. Like I said, the weather did at least improve a little bit in that it wasn't monsoonally downpouring or blowing with the hurricane force winds like it was for the 100 and some odd kilometer ride in from Radisson. Yeah, we take this dirt road. It's quite lengthy, but it takes us right to the edge of the bay. I was pretty concerned about the first turn up by La Grande that we wouldn't be able to make it to the bay. But here we are. You can see it started raining again. I can barely see out of my camera. Yeah, what you see there ahead of you, that is the shores of James Bay. Even with the rain gear on, we were pretty soggy. It was pretty chilly, but it was the whole point of the trip. It would have been super disappointing not to make it, so I was pretty happy, as you can kind of see. And wet. So we took a couple of minutes. It had again stopped raining, and took a walk around. Just took some pictures of some of the machines and boats that are just sort of left by the shoreline. I guess nobody has to really worry too much about people stealing stuff. Here's a picture of Bill and I putting on our game faces. Of course, I had to go in the water. Holy cow, was it cold. If it was sunny, I might have gone for a swim just to say I did it, but this was good enough. Going up to my ankles, grab a rock or two and bring it home with me as a souvenir to say, hey, I did it. Here's a picture of my GPS showing exactly where we were. Hopped back on the bikes and started our jaunt back. Standing, as you can see, the road is slowly drying up, so we're standing up trying to dry ourselves out. It was pretty wet. Yeah, we just stopped quickly here to take a quick image of the hydroelectric facility, one of them. It is an impressive installation. It is just massive, this entire dam system that they set up. We got back to town, we took a walk around, we had some time to kill, and it was miserable, so we just went into the local restaurant, grabbed some lunch, and then we found this shelter, and we spent the rest of our afternoon hunkered down in here trying to stay warm and get dried out. It cleared up in the afternoon a little bit. Black flies did come back out, so we just took a couple of minutes, went down to town, got ourselves gassed up and set up for the next day for the journey south. Well, day 4 brought us some clear and cool weather. We decided to take a little trip out to Lookout before we began our journey south. Captured a couple images of the shelter that we spent a lot of time in on the previous day, trying to stay warm and dry. Don't know why it's there, but I'm sure glad it was. It saved our bacon. So day 4, going to be a 642 kilometer day as we head south back down to Matagami. As I said, first we took a trip out to the Lookout to where the dam is. It was only about maybe 20 clicks out and 20 clicks back. It was well worth it. So that road took us out to the edge of the dam. What you can see here is actually the berm built as the retaining wall for the dam, which I'll show you in a couple minutes. So we followed this road up to the top, and then we toured out to this little tower that we took a hike up and got some pictures of the surrounding area. Yeah, so we found this tower and parked the bikes for a couple of minutes, took a hike up to it, and got up there and did a panoramic shot of just kind of around the area. You can see there's the reservoir off in the distance, and then I do like a little circular shot. The hydroelectric facility is up there on the left, and then there's a retaining wall over here a little further around holding the water back. This is where one of the spillways are. You'll see a picture of that in a minute. Just really a remarkable, like I said earlier, installation. And beautiful scenery. And there were no black flies up there. Yeah, so here's one of the spillways I was referring to. Get a sense, we're on top of the dam facility itself. The gate's obviously closed, but it's just like an enormous cut through the rocks. I can't imagine what that would look like actually being filled up with water. It'd be pretty impressive to see. Well, we grabbed our last couple images, hopped back on the machines, and began our journey south. And as you would guess it, clouds rolled in, wind came up, and we ran in and out of rain pretty much the whole day. We got lucky. We did stop for lunch, and it had a little bit of a break on the weather for us at that point. But at least it wasn't like day 3 where we were in a monsoon. This was at least we were able to, with riding on the bikes, manage to stay pretty dry. So this day looks a lot like the day up. It's just instead of going north, now we're headed south. You know me, I be a little bit of a goof. These SOS Telebex phones are spread around the highway. There's nothing up there, so if you get into trouble, I guess you got to hike to one of these things and call for help. Thankfully, that wasn't the case for us. We managed to not really need to use them. So we toured south, stopped again at the gas station, kilometer 381, got up some gas, got ourselves a photo shot, and carried on down the highway to Rupert River, where we opted to stop for lunch. Nice spot. We grabbed some soup, cooked it up, took some pictures of the river, did a face wash, and carried on our way. pretty cool to see stop signs both in French and Cree. Never seen that before. As I mentioned, some of your waits for construction zones were elongated and gave us chances to stretch our legs. Got pretty lucky the rest of the day, sort of cleared up, and we kept rolling south on some nice fresh asphalt. I guess that's one advantage of waiting for construction, is eventually you get on some nice smooth roads. We enjoyed this all the way down into Matagami. So we rolled in Matagami, decided to stay at the same hotel, got ourselves unpacked, checked in, and we brought the camping gear. We did use it, but it's just way more convenient to do hotels. We're getting soft. So now we're into day 5, final day. This is a big day for us. We're headed south from Matagami down to Eganville. I'm going to stay at my sister's place. That was a big, long haul. We didn't really know where we were going to stop until about halfway through the day, and that's when we decided to shoot all the way to Eganville. So we took a rip down through Noranda, and then a surprising stretch of road down along the Ottawa River. Just absolutely stellar scenery, and we had a great ride early in the morning, and stopped for some lunch, and managed to pick a route up that would take us down into Mattawa. So we took Highway 391 south, which turned into 101, and we crossed back into Ontario in a little town called Temiskaming, where we picked up Highway 63. It's where we had lunch just a little way down 63 and met a couple, and they said, hey, the highway you guys want to take is this Ontario Provincial Highway 533, which brings us into the back of Mattawa. This is the highway you see here now, and what a blast. This road's got tons of turns. The asphalt's relatively decent. There's really nobody on it, and we were booking it pretty good. Guess what we find, of course, just after this truck, or before the truck, I can't recall, but we weren't too far down the highway, and we came across an OPP. I don't think I had the camera on at the time. I also don't think we were cooking it at the time, so we got lucky. But this was an awesome stretch. It's definitely worth a trip if you like riding. It's not too far from Ottawa. It's just worth going up and doing the loop around there. It's quite nice. So we're rolling into Mattawa. Time to get some gas and get some dinner. It's pretty late in the day. We pretty much decided at this point, I gave my sister a call and she said, hey, sure, come on in. So we decided the cottage is going to be the stop. It also saved us from having to set up our tents. So we knew we had a good destination, so we pushed it. I think we rolled all the way through. It took us it's probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock before we actually rolled in. It's a big day. It was 759-ish kilometers in total, and some great scenery and not too bad weather. Well, we're all gassed up. We've had our dinner. We picked up some Subway, and this is it. This is the final push in our journey. So we're on Highway 17, heading east towards Pembroke. Highway I'm familiar with. It's a beautiful stretch of road. I wouldn't say it's overly exciting from a ride perspective, but the scenery is pretty good. We had one pretty big thunderhead cloud off to our right that was sort of chasing us down the road, so we didn't really waste too much time here. And you'll just get to see some of beautiful Highway 17 between Mattawa and Petawawa. Really a gorgeous stretch of road. So I'll leave it here. It was a good trip. I don't know that I ever want to do it again, but I'm glad I did it. It's a part of the country not too many people travel through, so it's sort of unique that way. Super happy to have a great traveling companion with Bill, and we split after this, and he went his way, and I went my way. All told together, we did 2,900 kilometers, and it was a good time. I'll check that one off my bucket list. Bye.